I'm sure I'll figure it out.
I record this video, but boy.
Oh no.
Like,
Here we
my
are.
question is, when do they figure that out?
Those Suns were bad at one point.
All the Lakers talking. Ha ha ha! I told you so, low. Before we get into
I just think about it, like, how many times is like a mid-season trade like that went down, and then that team going on to win a ring, like with a big star like that just changes the chemistry.
For those who don't know,
You think that team's gonna win a ring?
look at the top of the video. The Dallas Mavericks are the.
No, I'm saying, like, I don't think they are, based on, like, I haven't seen it in history, like a big trade like that going down and it gelling like as quickly as it needs to.
It's usually like not the comparable piece.
Yeah, like I think you need like a training camp together type shit to really like, all right, this is what we're doing.
But it's something that needed to be done. In return, the Brooklyn Nets are going to receive.
But we'll see. Fuck it.
Spencer Dinwiddie, a first-round pick, and a couple of second-round.
I love low
playoffs.
Mavericks first positive. We're going to stay positive in this video for as long as we can. When it comes to the Dallas Mavericks, you got the start that you wanted. You take out some responsibility from Luka, adding Kyrie, more dynamic offense.
Oh my god, bro. My nigga.
Mavericks over the past couple of years, especially in the postseason, they were just rising.
He'll help them on the offensive level completely.
In deep postseason runs,
they just can't guard.
Fourth quarter, you can clearly see in some of those situations he was just not physically prepared for it. Quite frankly, not that many players in NBA history are prepared to.
That's why the Suns lost that series from last year, because the Mavs were guarding, and they're gonna bully Chris Paul, and they were guarding up on the other end.
Offense adds a level of depth and dynamic that does make them much more difficult to defend in the playoffs. But man, the defense that they lost, shout out to Dory Finney-Smith. Moving forward, I'm gonna just call him DFS because I'm not gonna keep saying that name. DFS, great defensive player.
Like, bro, they lost all their defense. They lost all their perimeter defending. I don't know.
Really, really good defensive player on the wing. Very versatile.
Maybe for the second channel, by the way.
Especially in the paint, in the passing lanes. He was the guy that went out there and did a lot of the dirty work defensively for this team. Losing him it's just a major knock for a team that was already struggling on the defensive side of the floor. I don't know what this team does defensively, and that's why I believed that when the trade...
They're not going to win a championship because they're not going to be able to guard. They may be able to rebound. They may be able to rebound.
Talks came about going after Kyrie. I wasn't sold on it. The other thing that I'm really concerned with is how well will Luka and Kyrie gel with one another. Kyrie is a ball-dominant player. He's definitely proven throughout his career that he can move off ball. But both of these players demand the ball in their hands. They're both ball-dominant. They're both heavy dribblers. I'm not really like...
Can Luka play off ball? If Luka's really committed about playing off ball, this can work. To a certain extent offensively. If Luka can like be able to like be more, it makes him more efficient to score 27, 28 points off of 14 shots. If he's willing to be more off ball and willing to take that, I mean, it will work. But it's just, to me, and then who's the coach? Kid will find the right offense for that. I ain't gonna lie, he'll figure out the right offense for that. It's everything else. I'm really concerned about the defensive woes. Because who's the roster consist of now?
And it's not like I don't got defense like that at all.
They don't have anything. I mean, they're second in the South. What is it, 28 and 26? I mean, it's Davis. No, Reggie Bullock. He really don't play no D. Luka, Josh Green will have to emerge more of a defensive like role on the team, which he could possibly do, but not right now. Tim Hardaway Jr., nah. Jaden Hardy, score, no. Kyrie, no. Keeper, no. JaVale, yes. Markieff, will they play him? Will he get put in the rotation? Probably not. How many minutes is he? He's not even getting burned this year. He probably has a lot. He's only played. He got put. Oh, he came in the trade package with Kyrie. He got traded as well. They just didn't like report him. But I mean, he played one game this year. So I don't know how much he'll do. Frank Ntilikina, he's a cool defensive guard, but not the greatest. Theo Pinson, I don't think he'll get burned. Dwight Powell, Chris Silva, Christian Wood, and Kenny Wright. I mean, I don't really see a lot of defense at all.
The identity of a backcourt, as much as I think a lot of people are, again, the offense will be there. It will be dynamic, but will the production be high enough to usurp whatever you think you may be missing defensively, which I think will be a lot from a team that already struggles on that side of the floor? Will it be enough production from Kyrie and Luka? Now, moving out to the Eastern Conference with the Brooklyn Nets, and honestly, and this is not me as the Laker fan here, this is me being very genuine. I have no idea why they make this trade.
I don't either.
This is a really bad trade for a team that will inevitably have to blow it up.
Yeah.
With Kevin Durant. And fair enough, they may be delusional now. I think a lot of people believe that they're delusional. But picking up Dinwiddie and Dorian Finney-Smith, two really good complementary pieces for a championship caliber team. Not a team that is basically just has one star and a bunch of complementary pieces in an Eastern Conference that is extremely stacked. So even though I do like the complementary pieces, I do believe DFS makes this defense even better than what.
No, but he literally just said he's not trying to be biased. Because I agree with him as well. I don't see why you do that trade like that. Who did you get back? Like,
exactly.
What was the complimentary piece for Kyrie? You have a 2027 first round pick. Is that what it is? Isn't it a 2027 first round pick? Right?
Kyrie. The actual trade was.
Oh no. Let me look. I'm pretty sure it was a. I'm pretty sure it's a 2025. Let me look. It's a 2020. The 2029 draft pick. Bro, that's in 6 years. What the fuck? Like, who the fuck is out in 6 years? You don't know who that piece is gonna be. I mean, like,
feels similar to like when Odell was traded to the Browns, when like the front office and the player like just aren't like seeing eye to eye, but the front office doesn't want to put the player in a situation to like truly thrive.
But then like
it feels.
I mean, we all know that, but like the Lakers only had a 27 to 29. I mean, but you took that from the Brooklyn Nets. Like, for what? Like, for what? Like what in the fuck were you gonna do with these picks?
That's the Sam Presti model, bro. They're trying to be like OKC.
Like, and like, no, you just didn't want them to be in a good situation. So, anyways,
they're much more versatile. They're way more productive on that side of the court, which is something that's been a problem the entire time. All of it goes out the window. All of it is basically pointless when you don't have the stars alongside them. Boy, Brooklyn is an organization that now has failed to build two super teams basically within a decade's time, and they gave up the amount of draft capital they've been giving up to just fail with super teams.
And the crazy thing is, they were getting all these picks from all the trades they were getting from things like Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett and then somebody else, like some big, like Dinwiddie's first like trade. They had mad picks, and now they like did a whole 360
in a finite amount of time. That KG, Paul Pierce, Darren Williams, Joe Johnson, that super team that they had, that team within a year and a half's time was already deemed to be a failure. It is crazy.
But that's not even a super team to me. Look at these old ass niggas. You think that was nigga? If you watch basketball, everybody knew because Jason Terry was fresh off a championship. That's why. Like, if you niggas knew this was not a super team, I knew this shit was ass. I knew this right here was ass because they weren't putting their capital into Joe Johnson. That was the problem. They were putting their capital into Paul Pierce and KG, but KG was an aging star who wasn't the same as what he was in Boston. And then Paul Pierce was injury prone. Jason Terry was off a chip, but nobody cares. And they were just done. They didn't put into Joe Johnson or Deron Williams, but Deron Williams can stay healthy. Sadly enough, like Deron Williams just wasn't healthy. What was that? Paul Pierce. Brooklyn Nets team. What was that team? I want to see that team. That 1 year, 2013. So this team consisted of, Andre Blatch, Allen Anderson, Jason Collins, Reggie Evans, KG, George Gutierrez, Joe Johnson, Andre Karolinko, Sean Livingston, Brooke Lopez, Paul Pierce, Mason Plumlee, Torn Key, I can't say his name, Charlie Sean Taylor, Marcus Teague, Mazra Telatif, R4, I don't know a kid, he's from the Bulls. Jason Terry, Marcus Thornton, and Deron Williams. But like, this team should have put all their capital into Joe Johnson. They didn't. Like, they just didn't. Their focus was on fucking a 36-year-old Paul Pierce and a fucking 37-year-old KG. Old as fuck. They were aging. They were out of here. I mean, Brooklyn Lopez was their leading scorer. Brooke Lopez was their leading scorer, even though he was young and like he was a high draft pick. He was their leading scorer, averaging 20 a game. He was averaging 20 and 6 boards, but 2 blocks. He could have been more. Bro, how many shots was Joe Johnson getting a game? He was getting 12 attempts a game. He should, bro. The offense should have ran through Joe Johnson, bro. But whatever. I don't know anything. That's what.
Darren Williams, Joe Johnson, that team that team within a year and a half's time was already deemed to be a failure.
What the fuck
it
is another
crazy that we are basically
came
just
out of nowhere. I swear to God.
years removed from the Brooklyn Nets receiving James Harden, and just 2 years later,
those picks turned to Jaylen Brown.
Won it out and he got out.
Team.
Kyrie won it out and he got out. And Kevin Durant has already voiced his
opinion. What picks? What picks?
And he, I believe, is the next one to be out. If that Kevin Durant has already won it out and he got out. Kyrie won it out and he got out. And Kevin Durant has already voiced his opinion.
Yo, Zach, thank you for your rate, bro.
And he, I believe, is the next one to be out.
The association, yeah.
Case,
I don't know why.
Why would you get complimentary pieces instead of getting as much draft?
They played the Heat in those years. Bro, that was a 1-year experiment, God, my boy. That team was a 1-year experiment. Paul Pierce played on that team for 1 year and then went to Brooklyn. Or then went to the Wizards and they blew it up. Sure, they were they were 44-38 and they got to how far? They got to the semifinals and got 1-4 by the Heat. But all the hype around that, like they're calling that a super team. That's not a super team to me. Going 44-38 is not a super team. And I mean, to me, that wasn't a super team anyways. Because like I said, they were putting all their capital in the wrong people. They put their capital in the wrong people. Bro, that should have been Joe Johnson's team. And they got blown 100-86, 94-82, 104-90. They got blown out. Now this game was close. This game, oh no, they won 104-90, sorry. And then this game was close. But like, I just think Joe Johnson should have been the leader of that team. That's what I'm saying.
Capital and young players as possible. Massive losers, in my opinion, if you're Brooklyn, because I just don't see another star on the horizon that you can kind of finagle your way.
I'm just still saying, bro. You call yourself.
KD, I don't know what to tell you. You chose this path. You want to play next to Kyrie. He did what he did, and now you're stuck in Brooklyn by yourself. You should have stayed with the Warriors. And then not only you should have stayed with them, you should not have signed that contract extension for a team that you were not 100% sure on what they were going to do. Massive loser in this situation because it seems like the front office is deluded to believe, hey, we got you in the contract, so you're staying in the contract, and we're going to try our hardest to rebuild around you. That's what it sounds like. KD, you're done. Some of your better years in your career, playing at this stage of your career, is now about to be wasted from a franchise that believed that you owe them. You owe them their time to stay there as long as they demand it. Massive winners, Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets, they got the picks from the Harden trade, and they're looking pretty now. Also, bro, that Ben Simmons trade, bro, as time continues to progress, that Ben Simmons trade might be one of the worst trades I've seen in the last 20 years. I mean, my goodness. Because after you done got Ben Simmons, every young player who's on a rookie max extension, you cannot receive them because of a rule that's set in place.
You can't trade them.
For receiving 2 of them via trade. You already received your 1 in Ben Simmons, so it's done. Furthermore, Simmons is making an egregious amount of money on the books, so he's already tying up what that team can do. And on top of that, he's playing much worse. That trade is terrible. I just don't understand the trade through and through. I just don't get it. You should try to get as much draft capital.
I love Ben. That's my guy. I want to play a little bit more aggressive. I don't know. I don't know what that will like. This. Hold on. I don't know what that trade will like change for him. I don't know if he'll feel like he needs to carry more of an offensive load and to be now more aggressive now or what. But we'll see. I hope he is. I don't know, bro. You want to know my personal opinion? Okay, type 1 real quick. You want to know my personal opinion about Ben? I get it, guys. Relax on it, bro. We get it, bro. Just pray for him. Stop bringing it up. Okay, you know what? Know my personal opinion about Ben? Now, Ben's my friend. Actually, a really good friend. Like, Ben's actually a really good friend of mine. Like, he always looks out for me. Like, I always check up on him. Like, people, you know what I'm saying, they judge him about, like, what he does on the court, and that's fine. But the case would be, it's like you judging me about what I do on my streams. And I think he's a fucking great guy. And I think he is a really talented basketball player. I think he got all these expectations put on him. I think the problem about when you're in high school, when you're a high school phenomenon, a college phenomenon, the media puts this instant pressure on you to be something. He was just a guy that plays basketball. And I mean, through all that, like, the media just put all this pressure on him. But I think with the Philly debacle and how they really just shitted on Ben and the fan base in Philly being the most harshest people ever. And I know we live in a society that we care about mental health and people and their feelings when it's cute and cuddly or like it's them to themselves. But when it's to an actual another human being who's making a lot of money, we give a fuck less about them being a human being and more about, well, they made this much money, so why should they be upset and sad? Like, they're not an actual human being. And so Philly fans are assholes. They're mean as fuck. They're egregious. They're just crazy. I think he doesn't love ball like he used to. And I think you can see that when he plays. And like, I don't know this personally, and like, I always support bro and like all that shit. And he did a lot for Philly. Like he got them to an Eastern Conference final. They were a travel shot away from making the fucking finals, bro. And it was unfortunate. He was a part of that team. He was a big part of why they made it to the finals. Him, of course, and Joel Embiid. But like, it gets thrown out the window, and he just got blackballed and scapegoated. And if you don't think he didn't get scapegoated the last his exiting in Philly, you just really don't like him, or you just don't watch basketball, or you just don't give a fuck. And it's cool. That's what it is. But they scapegoated the fuck out of him. They really, really did. And I think ever since that, and just being like, because you gotta think too, he's not from here. He's from Australia. So he's like, of course he's adapted to American culture, but he's not from here. He moved to America when he was like 15 years old. And so I personally think he doesn't love basketball anymore the way he first was when he first got in the league because of the media, the scrutiny, and people take the scrutiny different. Like, not everybody can be LeBron James mentally. The scrutiny, think about this real quick. Guys, LeBron is under 60 points away from being the all-time leading scorer in NBA history, a record that people thought would never be broken. And we're talking about MJ Day. We're talking about MJ Day. 2 to 3 games out. Oh, 36 points. Excuse me, 36 points. 2 to 3 days. A game, maybe 2 games away from him beating a record that's been held for 40 years. And we are talking about MJ Day. We are not celebrating LeBron. We are not celebrating the greatness and the accomplishment he had. If it was Michael Jordan, if it was Kobe, nigga, when Steph broke the 3-point record, bro. When Steph broke the 3-point record, they marveled at it. LeBron is about to be the all-time leading scorer, and nobody talks about it. And it's so sad, but we talk about all the negative. He's one of the most scrutinized players of all, if ever. And Colin Cowherd said it best too, by the way. He said, a lot of people's GOAT is the most insecure GOAT ever. And they talking about MJ. You can't get no access to MJ, and MJ can't talk to no people, won't talk to no black people, no nothing. But when something is about to like demolish his legacy, he has to reinvent himself or be back and relevant again. Everybody's not talking about it. Shut the fuck up. No, they're not. Like, what? Are you crazy? People are not caring. They're not. You're not telling me it's getting the same love and coverage and all this shit as if anybody else was doing such a crazy feat. You cannot tell me that. You cannot tell me that. You cannot. So what I'm trying to say is, though, like my boy Ben, I think the love of basketball is stripped and gone from him because basketball is more of a job now than something that he had fun playing. And he gets scrutinized for tying his shoes or missing a pass, whatever. Like him, Russell Westbrook, LeBron, Harden to a certain extent, but now Harden's been a little less scrutinized. Those are probably the most scrutinized players in the NBA right now, where they look at they're waiting for you to do something wrong. And that's the truth. And if you don't think that, I don't know what you're saying, because if somebody else did the same thing, it would not be as impactful negatively. And so I want Ben to be Ben Simmons, and I want him to have fun. I want him to love playing. I want him to love lacing up them shoes and stuff like that. But this is my personal opinion. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's true. I never asked him. Like, and if I did ask him, I would not like come and tell y'all. But like, and what I see, and like just like hearing and knowing from him, like I feel like the love of basketball was taken from him, and he just doesn't look the same. I feel like, I'm not gonna lie to you, Ben's been in the league for what, 6 years? I think Ben's been in the league for 6 years. I like, and like I said, I'm not like, by the way, I'm not saying that I know this, and I'm not trying to like say like put anything against my boy or nothing. By the way, he's a 3-time All-Star. People just forget this shit. He's a 3-time All-Star. He's been in the league for what, 6 years? What the fuck? How long has he been in the league? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. He's been in the league for 6 years, and he's a 3-time All-Star. Like, he's really good at basketball, guys. But like, I sometimes I feel like he's gonna retire. Like I feel like he won't go past 10 years of being in a pro. Like, I feel like after his extension's up, I feel like he will look to retire because of this, like, just like of the scrutiny and the mental like that he goes through with it. And see, like, I don't like that shit. And like, I don't like it because, one, he is a friend of mine, and I won't lie to you, but I don't like that you have to be weak-minded. Are you fucking like this is what I mean by like being desensitized and or judging like somebody different than you would somebody else. Bro, if you had millions of people every single day, all they want to do is prey on your downfall. Yo, so well, who said that? Ramos. You go to the store and somebody's talking shit to you. You post a picture of your family, somebody's talking shit to you. If you post a picture of you being in your community, they're talking shit about you. When you go, and I mean like, and like, it's not like, oh, you're bad. Like, it's everywhere you fucking go. It's nothing like, yo, love you. Da, da, da. It's always like, I get hate, but like, it's always hate. It's always hate. Tell me how strong-minded you are. If you are, congratulations. You are awesome, bro. Bro, he's talking about a story where he went to go get candy with his people. And like, he got heckled and harassed. And then like, they try to call the cops on him. People are weird to that guy for no reason. I've been to the club with him and we're just chilling and vibing in the club. And some drunk white dude comes up to him and talks shit to him in the middle of the club. Like for what? No, they don't. Not every NBA player does not. Shut up. That's not true. That's not true. That is completely not true. You're going to tell me that Steph Curry goes to the same, even though he's a bigger star than Ben Simmons, you're going to try to sit here and tell me that he goes through the same scrutiny as him. What? He does not. At all. Not Trae Young, not Ja Morant, who are bigger stars in the limelight than him. The biggest scrutiny, the most scrutinized players is Russ, Ben Simmons, and LeBron. And LeBron gets knocked down because whatever, he plays better. But like, these two dudes, if they did one thing wrong, it's done. Okay, never mind. I'm done talking to you guys. All right, let's keep going.
It's possible.
This nigga just brought up rings. What the fuck are we talking about? Guys, why do y'all miss it? Why do y'all miss the main point that I'm talking about? What are you trying to prove to me? Never someone afraid to shoot like this. Sure. Awesome. Like, I don't get it. Yeah, it's a mental thing. Like, yo, I'm not gonna lie. I'm so glad that y'all are some of the most strong-willed, strong-minded people ever. And I hope you never go through anything bad. And I hope that if you did sadly go through something so horrible and so just demoralizing that is constantly nagging at you, that you can just brush it off and walk through. I hope. I personally hope. I hope I just don't get why y'all have to. This is the problem with fucking human beings. You guys don't give a fuck about what somebody else feels. If somebody says, hey, you're stupid as fuck and you're ugly as shit, you take it different than that person takes it. You may be like, okay, bitch, I don't give a fuck, suck my dick. While this other person would probably break down and cry. You're not the same people. Like, it's not about being, it's just, I didn't say you can't hold him accountable. My whole point on purpose of all of what I'm saying is, I'm saying that I feel like the love of basketball is not, he doesn't have it anymore. That's the point I made. I didn't say he was better than anybody. I literally said he's not playing aggressive on offense. And I said he hasn't been playing well to the level he's supposed to be playing at. I said that. But you, of course, missed that. I said that. But I also did say, I feel like he's at that point because he does. That's like me being on stream and y'all sitting here and bullying me every day on stream, talking shit that I'm fat and I'm whack and I fell off and all this other shit like that. One day I may just be tired of doing it and I don't want to stream. Yeah, maybe the product and the production that I'm doing is not to what it used to be at. But like, there's also a mental aspect where my love of it is gone.
KCP and Kuzma, you then traded to go get Russ for what? What'd you get for?
I just don't. That trade, trading Kuzma and KCP for Russ, And I love what Russ is doing off the bench, and I think he is still playing a lot better. And I am happy for him. I want success for him. Like, I don't know.
Alex Caruso again, nothing. You let him walk. 1 year of competency, and even in that year, the major move that they made was a layup of a move. Everybody knew that the Lakers were trying to get AD 7 years ago. And all of the other moves that I could try to give you the credit for, you basically got either nothing for them or Westbrook. It's not a competent franchise. And Russ more than likely will stay on the team. If you're telling me that they were struggling to move off another pick for Kyrie, why do I think that they're going to move off of any draft capital for those crazy ass Utah Jazz trades that have been circling around? Oh, they might get Clarkson and Mike Conley. Laker fans sitting there convincing themselves, oh, just wait when everybody healthy. They was healthy last night, and they lost to the Pelicans without Zion. Also, I just want y'all to know. Just want you to know. I want every Lakers fan who sits there and talk about health. I want you to know this. Every team in the NBA deals with health issues. But if you need AD and LeBron and Russ to play every single game just so you can be an above 500 ball club, guess what? You're not a fucking good team. Stop being stupid. You're not a good team. You fired a
By the way, I don't like how they try to like diss Ja Morant when they're like, his team's over 500 without him. Like, yeah, it's a good fucking team. Like, you want them to lose everything? What?
defensive-oriented coach who's mediocre offensively to hire a rookie defensive-oriented coach who's mediocre offensively. But that front office has allowed y'all to use Frank Vogel as a scapegoat.
Yeah, they did.
Just for them to turn around and hire Black Frank Vogel. They just hired the same nigga.
They did. And then by the way, y'all be scapegoating the fuck out these niggas.
And what's crazy is that like everybody else gets caught up in it. I had niggas on my timeline asking me, "Hey, Lo, you gonna do a Rui Hachimura video? Why? Solid pickup, great job, but why? It's Rui. You don't want to make it a video that's circle jerk off Rob Pelinka. Oh man, good job, Rob. You got Rui. What the fuck? No. I'm a Bucks fan, bro. I can't. I genuinely can't. And the only way that I will ever become a Laker fan again is when Rob Pelinka
is fired.
I cannot root for a team that employs Rob Pelinka. He has to be fired. He has been the problem the entire time. Finally, the next big winner, shout out to the Denver Nuggets, bro. I think Denver has now further solidified themselves as the best team in the Western Conference. They're one trade away from really putting themselves in title contention and competing with some of those teams in the Eastern Conference. Bones says he wants out, so I do believe that move will be made fairly soon. Make sure you hit the subscribe button.
What happened with Denver?
Because I will be uploading my trade video, probably tomorrow because everything is kind of moving pretty fast. I don't want to miss.
What did Denver do? Or are you saying they're just good as fuck? He just shouting them out.